Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for being here today. It's a great crowd, great to see everybody. I haven't had a chance to get out and talk to you all, but maybe afterwards. I wanted to just kind of lay out what I was going to talk about today. First of all, I want to kind of reflect a little bit, and then I want to talk about the vision. In the invitation that was sent out, it says that this is, comes here, the mayor's vision. Well, it's not the mayor's vision. This is the council's vision, because we all got together in a public meeting, and that's an inside joke. And we got together and developed a strategy, or we had a strategy session to kind of take a look at where we're at and take a look at where we want to see the city go. And when I say that we also listen to the community. So as your representatives, we talk to people all the time. So the visions that we are putting forward are things we hear from you. These are things we hear from the community. So as we establish this strategic plan, which we haven't done in a number of years, so it was about time, we can go forward with the policies of the city. So this helps drive the staff and give the staff direction. So you'll see that at the end. The first part's going to be kind of a reflection, and the second part will be more of the vision. So first things first, I want to thank a few people before I forget. First of all, my wife, Nancy, is over here. So thank you, Nancy. And my daughter's here as well. Kelly, would you stand up, wave your hand there? That's my daughter. Thank you, babe, for being here. And a special thank you also to the City Council. I want to recognize our council members. If you all would please stand up, I'd appreciate it. Give them a round of applause as well. And last but not least, I want to thank the staff, because without the staff, this wouldn't have been put on. Larry, you and your team, you've got a fantastic team. This community is very lucky to have a well-run city, and it's primarily because of Mr. Raines here. He does a phenomenal job. Also, just a call out to Carla and Kayla. Thank you guys for helping me put this together. Really appreciate it. One reminder, too, and I was hesitant to do this because I really don't want anybody running against me, but tonight there is a training class if you're interested in running for office. It's at 6 o'clock. It's in the council chambers. It'll be put on by our city clerk, Gloria. So if you're interested in running for office, come on by. But don't run for mayor. Also, we put on your tables a small magazine that kind of outlines some economic development and some of the things that go on in the community. There's also the Downtown Visitors Guide, which is in the back. I think Rena brought some of those. And again, I wanted to reiterate, because went on the invitation itself. I think it says, join Mayor McFarland as he reflects on the accomplishments of the past year and his vision. It's not, again, not my vision, but it is our council's vision for the future. So with that said, let's get going. All right. First of all, I'm here because I want to ask you to join us as we reflect and share in the vision of the future of the state of the city. So advancing Casa Grande through improvements in quality of life and economic development, education and workforce development, and community health. Our quality of life depends on committing to collaboration within our city institutions, and within all our city departments. Opportunities to build a stronger community, improve quality of life, civic pride, honoring diversity, and building a sustainable community. So let's take a look at some of the things that have gone on in the past. Some of the actions that we took this last year to build an economic development handout, which you have. Evaluated the community development process, so we're taking a look at everything from impact fees to our processes. Community Health Initiative, which was initiated about a year ago, where we got all of the community services together. We have them all on our new website. We established the Mayor's Homelessness Task Force. We've done a huge amount of work in that area, and several of the task force members are here today, so I want to personally thank them for all the work they've done. We've gotten to the point where we've got 7 goals, and I want to share them with you today. Each of these goals, we've set up committees to kind of tackle. The first is affordable housing. Second is transitional housing and shelters. The third is supported services and education. Number 4 is public safety. 5 is financial. 6 is targeted populations, like kids without homes, and then also the homeless. So we kind of separated and targeted each of the individual groups. And then community engagement. So those are the areas that the task force has identified. We've formed the committees, and we're going to move forward with that here shortly. We have another meeting in about a week or so. Last year we went out and met with all the home builders. Mr. Raines and myself and a couple other council people, we went and met with them up in Phoenix, and we talked to them. A year ago we had 2 builders in town. Today we have about 6. So we're starting to see some of that momentum. We're starting to see some of those 6,000 lots that we have that are infrastructure ready starting to be bought up. So if you've noticed and been around town, you've actually seen some model homes that are out there, so it's a good sign. And I'm confident that that will continue. We continue to work on infrastructure, and our infrastructure, such as our airports, our wastewater treatment plants. Education and workforce development, the Achieve Pinole group, which I think Judy's here, and Evelyn's here too as well, and Bob Jackson, so all members that are working on the Achieve Pinole effort, which is basically, by 2025, we're going to have, the requirement will be almost 70% of every job is going to require some sort of a post-high school degree or certificate. So that's a big task, and as everyone in this room knows, workforce development is key to our continued growth. Right now in Pinole County, there are more than 700 open jobs. 700. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, and this group is leading the way, and I thank you guys for doing that. We also have a transit plan that's coming forward. You should see that. I know we've had the meetings, the public meetings to showcase that. So that final report should be out here in the next 2 months or so. Oh, not till July. There you go. Things for the community that happened this last year. The community center, we broke ground finally. The trail systems, we're going to try and integrate, and you'll see in the vision that the trail system is part of that vision. Neon Park at Main Street, Rena and her team, phenomenal job to get that going. So I'm looking forward to the neon. In fact, didn't the one neon go off yesterday? The Horseshoe Motel got shipped off to Tucson, right? Is that where they're working on it? So that got shipped off. So that we have 18 months to get that project done. So you'll start to see it put together here soon. Our rodeo grounds, we were fortunate to get some grants, so that you're going to see the grandstands are going to be covered. So that's an improvement out at the rodeo grounds. Let's talk a little bit about the infrastructure, and when I say that, I talk about I-10, I-11, the Pinole Regional Transportation Authority, our industrial parks, Union Pacific, water, airports. All of these things we've been working on this last year. The I-10 continues to be a focus of your city. of myself and personally, trying to get the director to at least hire a consultant to start working with the tribe. That's still in the works. It's almost a year since he promised me we would have a consultant, so I need to continually remind him. And you all in this room can have an impact on that as well. Anybody you talk to, letters to the governor, just be the squeaky wheel, because more people say it, the more they'll hear it up in the state of Maricopa. Did you just got that? I-11 continues to move forward. Not really a whole lot to report on that, other than Casa Grande will be the center of all of this nexus, I-10, I-8, Union Pacific, I-11. So we are in the heart of it. The Pinole Regional Transportation Authority is moving forward. We actually just assigned the community group that's going to be kind of the watchdog of that. It's actually a citizens group, and our representative for the city of Casa Grande is Mr. Bob Jackson. So thank you for doing that, Bob. And as we move forward, we still are under the cloud right now of a lawsuit by the Goldwater Institute. So we also have a stay on the collection of the tax, which is supposed to start on April 1st. But I think we're going to have a hearing next week, so we'll know whether that tax will actually begin being collected on the 1st of April. The industrial parks, Union Pacific, I mean, we have one of the best industrial parks in the state right behind us here. And we continue to get more and more inquiries in terms of opportunities and new businesses coming in. I think Richard was telling me he's working on 3 right now that are big projects that none of you even know about. So we continue to have more and more activity and things that are happening here. So it's a great time, and I think we're poised for some great things. Water continues to be an issue. I don't want to get a whole big conversation because you could do an entire presentation on water in the state of Arizona. But suffice it to say that I am also on the co-chair of a groundwater study, and that will start in about 45 days. It's for our active management area. And then the governor also has a commission that's also working on it. I know Steve Miller is part of that. And so we're all kind of working together to make sure we kind of resolve some of the issues that we have right now. The airport continues to be obviously a gem for us and a very important infrastructure piece. We are right now in the middle of not fighting, but arguing with the FAA for allowing skydiving on the airport. So we think we have some compromises, but we've also filed some basically filed to get out from underneath their ruling. That'll take some time. Just a heads up on that. So Phoenix Smart, Dreamport Village, Atessa, Lucid, LKQ, all of which everybody asks me about every time I see somebody. Phoenix Smart has been under kind of a cloud of some federal, I don't want to say too much about it, but that should be cleared up, and I've been told that you should start to see some activities out there again. It has been kind of quiet, but there should be some movement on that. Dreamport Village, we don't know what's going on with that, so I'll just leave it at that. Atessa is moving forward. They are working with the county, and so we're going to continue to work with them. Lucid Motors has until April on some property that they need to close on, and there's not a whole lot more to report on that one as well. LKQ is the parts recycling company, which is right behind us here, down across from the Walmart distribution center. Ground is being moved, and it's moving forward. The city to business and shop local, I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about it. The city to business is my effort to go out and talk to all of our industry. So I go and I sit down with the directors of each of the plants. I talk to them about our education and workforce needs. I talk to them about what their needs are. Have they talked to CAC? Have they worked with our high schools? And so you'll see in some of our vision that there's actually going to be some activities that are going to go on with that. The Shop Local is another program that's going to be coming forward. And I really wanted to talk a little bit about the store closings, since it always seems to also be a topic. And I didn't want to avoid it. But the store closings, with our current environment as far as business is concerned, is changing. Everyone in this room, I could almost guarantee, has bought stuff on Amazon. And Amazon is that 500-pound gorilla that is actually ruining a lot of bricks and mortar. Now, things change, times change, people buying habits and patterns change. So we need to change as well. So that being said, the bricks and mortars are going to be more challenged as we move forward. And I would suspect that as we continue, that additional stores will close. It's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. But we are meeting with them. We have met with the owners out at the Promenade Mall. So we're going to try and at least have a dialogue with some of these folks and make sure that we can figure out how can something get repurposed or how can we reuse it. But it's a long process. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay, so enough reflection. Let's talk a little bit about the vision. This video that I want to play is a compilation of what your city has done for us in this last year. So it's a little bit of a look back, but it's a visual look, and I think you'll enjoy watching it. Thank you, and again, thanks to Kayla and her team for putting that together. Last year, we posted the video that we did for the State of the City last year, and we got, I don't know, 600 hits on it or so, but there were all those, 15 or 20 people who said, well, that's not Casa Grande I know. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the future state of the city. Advancing Casa Grande through improvements in quality of life, economic development, education and workforce development, and community health. We need to leverage the current economic climate, our strategic location, new opportunities, and strong community to improve our quality of life. Some of these statements are actually out of a thing we call the ROSE, and no one can remember what ROSE stands for. So other than it's our results statement. So I'll give it to you in whole at the end, but it's a really, I think it's a perfect statement for the vision for the city of Casa Grande, and it was all put together with your council and senior staff here. So let's go into some of this, because this is the strategic plan, and these are the 5 areas or 5 focus areas that came out of our planning. First of all, fiscal responsibility, quality of life, marketing, infrastructure, and education. So let's take each one by itself. So what we did is we took the focus areas, and then we established actual action plans. So to be a true action plan, it has to be measurable, it has to be time sensitive. So all of these, if you'll see in every one of these action plans that there is those elements attached to it. So as far as fiscal responsibility, these are some of the key action plans that were put together with the help of staff. Develop a sustainable budget that can withstand a 5% revenue reduction. If 80% of our revenue for the city of Casa Grande comes from sales tax, and sales tax decreases, then we need to be prepared to find out where we're going to decrease services or decrease costs. Develop a plan to have 100% of the benchmarked job positions midpointed of the salary range to be competitive with the marketplace. What that means is that we want to make sure that our salaries that we pay our city people are competitive. We want good people we want to keep. We want job retention at the city level. It's about 450 employees. It's a pretty good sized company, if you look at it from that perspective. And Larry's the CEO. Review all city programs and services against outsourced vendors. Over the course of 5 years, find the most effective and most efficient programs to ensure the best use of city funds. So this is right up Matt Herman's bailiwick. This is a big one for him, and it's also very important for the city. As we move forward, are there outsourced services that we can look at that will save the city money and also give us a good quality product? Next is quality of life. So in quality of life, we want to increase the positive citizen interaction by 10% each year for the next 5 years. So you ask, well, how are you going to know that? Well, we're going to bring back the community survey. And when we bring back the community survey, these are the things that we're going to be asking, so that we can figure out from the community how we're doing. Allocate 5% of the city's general fund resources to blight removal and improvement over 5 years. So this is an important one, because this is the image of ourselves. This is where we start to improve our image, where as a city we own property, and Mr. Powell is on this one, that on the south side that has glass shards and rocks, and the kids play in it, and it's city property. We own it. So how are we going to get other people to clean up their backyard if we haven't cleaned up our backyard? So that's where we're going to start. We're going to dedicate some funds. We're going to start cleaning up the blight. We're going to start with our own backyard first. But look out, because we're going to come to your backyard too. City event attendance, demographics that will be an 80% match to the population in 4 years. So we do events in town, but do we do events that fit the demographics of our community? So we're going to take a good hard look at that and try and see if we can't do a better job. Increase citizens' sense of security by 20% each year for the next 5 years. Again, these will be metrics that we're going to ask in the survey. The next one is marketing. This one's near and dear to my heart. So we want to create an image for the city that 90% of the residents rate as favorable within 5 years. Create an image for the city that 90% of the businesses rate favorable within 5 years. And increase the number of positive comments, posts on the city's social media by 20% each year for 5 years. So how are we going to measure that? We're not going to measure it against CG Chat, because that would be a losing proposition. But we will measure it on our Facebook. So that's one way that we can measure. We also measure it in our survey. As far as the others, there's a lot of stuff behind this. There's things that we will continue to work on. A community marketing organization is still in the plan. Our images, and my biggest pet peeve, if you look at that one picture on the left, that's the image people have coming down I-10 as they pass Casa Grande. Do you see Casa Grande on there at all? There's 4 of those. Just before Pinole, if you're coming south. Most people don't even notice them because you know where you're going. And if you've spent any time around me, you know that I rail on this every time someone will listen. I'm going to get that changed. It's going to have Casa Grande on that sign. Okay, infrastructure. Access to internet for 100% of CG citizens by 2019. Identify and fund a transit plan within 5 years. Implement traffic plans to improve travel efficiency on our major arterials by 25%. And last, increase non-auto transportation systems, like our trail system, by 5% annually over 5 years. So we're going to finally get that old trail system out, and we're going to dust it off, and we're going to start implementing it. So again, all these things are things that we can work on and we can complete. Education. Education is an important one. This is education and workforce. This is what this is all about. The city doesn't control education, but I think as a group, we put our heads together and said, you know what, we can't sit on the sidelines on this. So we decided that as a city, we would at least put some goals out there that we could try and influence. And so we want to increase the number of baccalaureate degrees achieved by Casa Grande residents by 10% over 5 years. We want to increase the number of students attending postgraduate institutions or vocational education by 20% through 2020. And hopefully this will be in support of efforts of Achieve Pinole and our education systems that are out there, CAC, our high school district, elementary school district, the charter schools. We want to welcome 5 local companies participating in an apprenticeship or internship program to place 5 apprentices each year for the next 5 years. We want to have an influence on our industry. We want to try and help them help us. That's okay, I like that. Place 5 interns within the city departments each year for the next 5 years. So we're going to talk the talk, we need to walk the walk. So in order for us these results to happen, we need to leverage our current economic climate. We need to leverage new opportunities, our strong community, which is you, our strategic location, in order to improve quality of life, our civic pride, quality jobs, honoring diversity, and provide opportunities for all citizens. Those are lofty goals. And so let me read the rows, and this is just a piece of it, but I wanted to read the whole thing. And this was put together by your council and staff. We will leverage the current economic climate, new opportunities, and our strong community to improve quality of life, civic pride, and quality jobs. Casa Grande's strategic location and strong, motivated city leadership will honor diversity and provide opportunities for all residents to be successful. By building a sustainable and attractive community, we can create a place where people can safely live, work, and play. And that's from your city council. So thanks to them and thanks to all of you. I really appreciate it. And that's the end of my prepared remarks, so I just wanted to say thank you, everybody.